The ice and cold of winter hit the bus hard. Then the dogs ate all the snow and I got back to work on an array of smaller jobs. There were the jagged edges around where I installed those cargo boxes back in the 30th video in this playlist. I nixed the jagged edges with some steel patches riveted in place because rivets are great. Now don't stress if you think the patches don't look perfect. A bit of grinding and sanding and priming and paint once it all warms up will leave them looking dang fine. You know that feeling when you're lurking around underneath the bus and somebody's watching you? Anyway, the steel patches are complete and crossed off my list. I also charged up the bus batteries a bit, which is always good to do. That's not on my list because it's kind of a regular thing. Alright, so it's a little bit like what's behind door number 3. That first door is my battery compartment, the second the leisure compartment, and the third is kind of a mystery. Oddly enough, I've actually never opened this up. It's been jammed and just popped open so easily, so let's check it out. Alright, so I've got like a kind of like a highway safety kit. Yeah, these are like triangles you put out when you break down. Cool. Old prison bus window washer. A pair of jumper cables that have definitely seen better days. Yeah, those guys are pretty much toast. So antifreeze. There's a bottle jack back here. I don't know what all this shit is. This is so rough. Alright, this is the nasty ass, possibly fixable connector for the tire jack. And I'll show you how that works. Spare tire's right here, and you actually lower it by connecting this dude up and then cranking it. So yeah, that needs some serious help. I don't know, it might be salvageable. We'll see. And those are extension arms. Probably for the jack. Rust is so bad. And that is the jack. That's actually a 12-ton. That's bigger than mine. Awesome. That needs restoration. It says bus number 7 on there. I think it's like a tire chain bag, but compartment of requirement finally opened up and cleaned out. Check. Next, inside the bus, I wanted to tune up those big box drawers over the mini fridge. You might remember that the drawers are kind of temporary in the event that we get a big old gourmet Norcold fridge someday, a man can dream. But in the meantime, we have reality, which is that the faces of the drawers have not been quite flush when they're closed, and it's kind of been bugging me. So I got Tink set up in her bed and went to work on my DIY drawer runners with my Dremel, which is a tool I thought I'd never used, but end up turning to on a pretty regular basis. This is one of those little jobs you just do for yourself because it's bugging you. And now it's not bugging me because it's done. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, so with those drawers tuned up, I'm realizing that I just need a ton of latches. I need a couple latches for these guys, just to keep them closed on the road. Something simple. I never put a latch on this little drawer underneath the couch. Kind of like a nice long drawer, so I need a simple, again, like a little bolt latch clasp. And then on my bed, dude, I just need a couple hook clasps. That hook, kind of swinging hook right here. I'll put one on either side. I ended up installing some window latches to keep the big box drawers closed, because the thing about window latches is that they're solid and they hold the drawers in place in multiple directions, which is ideal. I also had them on hand, so it all worked out. Raining and so cold out there. And with those latches in place, I figured it might as well be a good time to close out the latch category all together on the bus, which meant installing the final 2 push button latches on my cabinet doors across the hallway. You might remember that I've used those push button latches before underneath the sink, and I really liked them, so installing 2 more sounded like a good idea. For satisfaction, see push button latches. They're really amazing. I also cleaned up and then installed some aluminum trim up front. Just a little thing, but it needed to get done. Alright, so next up on the bus is to install that backup camera I've been talking about for a while. Someone sent me this thing for free, and it's kind of like an off-brand Veclisus. The free stuff, it's usually not like name brand stuff that I get. But it looks like it's pretty good. Now this is a wireless backup camera, and about 100 people have told me online that it's not going to work on this bus. This thing is 40 feet, it's made of steel. But I don't know, these guys say it's going to work on like a semi, which is also a 40 footer or maybe longer. So I think it might work. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to 86 this fan right here. I don't like this fan. It just blows like right in your face. The one I like is this one, and this one's pretty sweet. They both run on these 2 fan switches. I think it's, oh yeah, these guys. Fan 1 and fan 2. So fan 1 is going to still be fan 1. Fan 2 is going to be the backup camera, which I'm going to power off of this guy. I think I'll run the cord down and mount the camera right down here. With the monitor for the backup camera in place up front, the next step was to find a power source way in the back of the bus for the camera itself. And I started by thinking I was going to tap the running lights up on top of the bus. So instead I ended up piggybacking the power source for one of my running lights in the back. To power the camera, those running lights just need to be on, and I'm always going to have them on the road just for safety. I ended up replacing the rear running light that I'd pulled off with the new LED, and I also added a license plate light, and then the camera itself is situated up top, which will give me a good vantage point on whatever it is I'm backing up into. And then here's your look at the setup in the back. I've got the running light that's on all the time with the license plate light lighting up there, and then the camera up above. And inside, the alarm's going off just because I have the lights on without the engine running. But anyway, here is the camera, and you can see it's looking at my garage. So I got at least some kind of view out of the back. Okay, next up in the Prison Bus conversion series just might be that roof deck. The people have voted and we all seem to want a roof deck. I hope it's the next thing I do in this series. Thanks for checking out the build. Y'all keep me going with all your awesome comments and support. You can find me online just about everywhere as Meta Spencer, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I will see you in the next build.